WishBook, a Christmas reading. When I was a boy, and Jason was too, before this present day was a thought, long before YouTubes, Facebooks, or apps, long before screen time induced headaches and naps, a time that isn't now, or at least not the same, before being quarantined and standing 6 feet away, before social distancing jammed a candy cane in our gears. This story goes back a many number of years. Yes, a story of pages, all gifted and bound, packaged and ready for true eyes to be found. Some lift up illusions at this time of year, but this story is true of WishBook you're all going to hear. There was no set day or set month or set week, though by December it'd be here for sure. Sure as Lassie's bark was airy, high-pitched, and squeaked. Sure as Sparky's ears were not brown but blond bleached. WishBook would come in one of two ways, only one of which did I ever see. The legend arrived almost right to our door, or as close as our mailbox could be. And what a gift to be the one, to be the first one to see all of the things on its pages throughout. Surprise filled my eyes as I opened and felt Christmas was coming, no doubt. All kids tall and all kids small, all kids blue and all kids true, all so excited 'cause Santa was coming. WishBook brought out the Christmas in you. And of course, there were boring things for our parents to see. Stuff you could wear and some stuff you could eat. Stuff that Mom loved and even stuff for Dad's feet. But for Jason and me, being brothers both lovers of things so shiny and cool that Santa could bring, they were all tucked away at the back near the end, far from the hats and the shoes. Flip, 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 umbrellas, flip, flip, ah, come on, flip, flip, and finally, the toys, the toys. The widest of smiles became cracks in our faces. No kids ever had this much fun while standing in two places, but it wasn't because of all the things we could get. No, it was because of the pages we hadn't seen yet. Oh, what is that? It looks like, no, not there, on page 562. Well, it says it makes flavored ice cream. That it also keeps cool. Okay, what about this, right here? It's green and points down. I don't know, but it says below in small print, this toy operates best on flat solid ground. Meanwhile, far from the shovels and beveled romantic rings, farther from gloves, dark fruitcakes, and even more boring things, strategically placed, well hidden from eyes, Santa was prepping to take to the skies. A clause like no other, a mystery unseen, a man made out purely of thought that could somehow deliver close to 5 billion gifts, with no worries he'd ever get caught. And as all kids we knew started making their lists for tumblers and capes, not socks, Mom, I said capes, for gremlins, stinkors, transformers, our fate was all left to that big man in red. A clause like no other, a mystery unseen, WishBook he'd sent as a guide. Now, I know Mom and Dad probably said it was from Sears, but your mom and your dad, they both lied. No, Sears was merely a distraction. You see, a quite cleverly cloaked acronym. Okay then, you say, for what does the word stand? Thinking I'll have no response? Thinking this story's untrue? Thinking your question might cause my derailment? How about this? Sears. Santa's elves and reindeer surveillance. That's right, WishBook had come straight from the North Pole, not from some once-upon-a-used-to-be store. WishBook connected the magic of Santa, which helped map his quest to your door. When Christmas Eve came, we both jumped in our beds. Mom and Dad said, "You two get to sleep." We knew that we had to so Santa could come, and the night always seemed like a week. The next morning, Jason and I emptied our socks, which had been filled by that magical man. As Mom and Dad sat with orange Pico in cups, I noticed on the living room stand. WishBook, tattered and dog-eared in so many places, from all of our wishes and wants, catch up on permanently circled marked pages, sticky-fingered prints laced with sugary traces. WishBook had given to all who had looked, but it felt kind of strange, like now it was just a book, like somehow after Christmas the magic had gone. But how could this be? How could the feeling just disappear, the same way it seemed to me every year? I decided not to give it too much more thought. When Dad said, "Hey Robbie, finish emptying your sock," I gave him the gesture that I already did, and he gestured back like he was being a kid. "Look again," he said weirdly while making a face. "Dig deep," said Mom, looking comfy in her place. So I reached back in my sock and then felt in my hand a rolled up, lined small piece of paper. I looked at my dad, then he looked at my mom. My dad is still here, but my mom is long gone. Santa Claus had written a message for me, a message still found to be true. And it read, "Every gift you'll ever need will always be here in the WishBook that's inside of you."